Hallihallöchen und herzlich willkommen hier wieder zurück bei Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Ja, wir sind in der Stadt Saatholm. Wir mussten der Familie irgendwie helfen, dass wir jetzt zu dem Boss können und wir dürfen jetzt zum Boss. So in etwa, glaube ich, ist unser Plan. Wir gehen jetzt zum Boss von denen, der uns sagt, wie es weitergeht. Denn ich will es nämlich nicht mehr. Ist nämlich wieder alles ziemlich lange her. So. Boss. Oh, Boss.
It's finally time to meet the legend himself. From what I've seen with his underlings, he runs a tight ship.
So then,
Verschwinde. Wow, wow, wirklich sehr nett.
Everyone, meet Zathba.
Well, out with it.
Was soll ich auch? Mein Hustenbonschein? Ich habe Hustenbonschein im Mund. Muss ich den ausspucken?
That's some jam.
Yeah, I was hoping you could help.
Let's talk business.
You didn't let me finish.
We aren't a charity. Selling info is how we don't starve. And the juicier the intel, the tastier our meals. You want a seat at the table? You gotta bring the bread. Know what I'm saying?
Also, ich verstehe es nicht. Ich brauche Brot. Also, wie viel wird es kosten?
So how much will it cost?
Avia exposes us to huge risk. With the friend discount, you're looking at 7 mil.
7 million rupees? That's enough to purchase several airships.
We settle our payments up front, but I wager your wallets are a little bit light at the moment. How about a proposal? You scratch my back, and I'll scratch yours.
We really don't have time for this.
Don't pass on a deal till you've heard every last detail. We've already looked into the mind sealer around your friend's neck. The catalyst stone that'll cancel the magic sleeps in some ruins on Dolly Island.
Are you absolutely certain?
Let me guess. You're giving us the scoop because you want something in return.
Man knows how to cut to the chase. All you resourceful folks have to do is break the seal on those ruins. It just so happens there's hidden treasure in there we'd love to get our hands on. And those are the conditions. Not a bad deal, if you ask me.
Yep, we both get what we want. Seems fair enough.
At this point, I think any lead is worth investigating.
The choice is yours, Captain.
Boah, immer ich, ey.
I'll be waiting at the port. Come see me when you've got your answer.
Warum bin ich immer die Wurst, die alles entscheiden muss?
There was no ordinary dude.
yeah.
Looks useful.
So then,
Sieht das da useful aus? Ich mach einfach mal auf, ne? Aber 7 Millionen habe ich nicht auf der Tasche.
Yes.
Ich bin ein bisschen groß für diesen Laden, kann das sein?
I think
Okay.
you painted a different picture of the guy, Roland.
Well, he's very passionate about his work. Yes.
We didn't come here to dig up treasure for someone else.
I know it's not the most direct way to get to Lyria, but it's better than nothing.
Why did it have to be Dolly Island, though? Not to mention breaking the seal on the ruins. But if we don't take that risk... I suppose Zathba knows what he's doing.
What are you mumbling about? Come on! He said he's waiting at the port.
Choice is here.
Gibt's hier was Neues?
Need something?
Außer Schicksalsepisode, die wir vielleicht sogar machen sollten. Das würde uns helfen, ne? Warten wir noch ein bisschen.
This one?
Quests? Haben wir irgendwas? Ja, wir haben noch... Wir haben noch 2 Quests. Wir haben noch jede Menge Quests. Okay. Nee, jetzt gerade nicht.
Have a good day. Hi, everyone. I bear good tidings. Valka wanted to thank you for your hard work. Something about finding hot gossip and shady cats?
Crewmitgliedskarte erhalten.
My fair work sure is something else. Enjoy your gift.
Sag mal, kriegen wir die immer alle so mit der Zeit geschenkt?
Hello to you.
Crewmitgliedskarte. Okay, 9 Verbündeten.
Who should we vote?
Jetzt natürlich die Frage. Charlotta, ein kleines Mädchen. Eine Ritterin. Die auf jeden Fall ziemlich reinziehen. Ich hätte gern irgendwas Fernkämpfermäßiges tatsächlich. Oder ich werde ausgepeitscht. Das ist natürlich auch schön. Was? Haben wir niemanden Fernkämpfermäßiges? Zedda ist die mit ihm zusammen war, ne? Ich glaube, ich nehme Peitsch Lady. Ein junger Geist, der versehentlich Celeste herbeirief. Die Astralbestie des Todes. Sie verbracht ein Leben nach dem Tod allein. Zusammen mit ihren Geister.
If it's important, I'll import it. Just say the word.
Weißt du was? Ich nehme Feli. Yep. Vor allem hat sie Geister dabei. Das ist auch
Did
cool.
you miss us, Captain?
Ja. Vor allem deine Geister. Feli hat sich deiner Gruppe angeschlossen. Ja, wir üben sie mal ganz kurz.
More untrained hounds.
Feli, eine junge Erun von einer nebelumhüllten Insel, ist vor langer Zeit verstorben und ein Geist geworden. Mit ihren geisterhaften Haustieren und ihrer Peitsche ist sie ein echtes Kraftpaket. Nutze die große Reichweite ihrer Peitsche und halte Viereck gedrückt, um einen Sturm von Schlägen auszuführen. Wird ein Feind von der Peitsche getroffen, kommen Felis Haustiere und helfen. Halte Dreieck gedrückt, um einen Sturm von Schlägen über einem großen Gebiet zu entfesseln. Sind Haustiere auf dem Schlachtfeld, beteiligen sie sich an der Prügelattacke. Okay, also ich kann...
Show's over.
So, kann ich jetzt wie? Achso, das ist das.
Let's end this.
Also rein theoretisch ist es Viereck gedrückt halten.
Take the stage, Fuji. How's that? Don't think so. Let's break you in. Show's over. Press the advantage.
Oh, Regenerier, die will ich auf jeden Fall dabei haben.
Follow me. Attack.
Also es ist wirklich, du stehst hier und machst das. Und dann machst du irgendwann das.
Fuji, nice.
Und dann machst du das.
You're up, Beppo. Show's over. Come at me. Showtime. Attack. Don't think so.
Eigentlich ganz lustig. Naja. Ich glaube, die nehme ich einfach mit. Ich glaube, statt unseren Schützen, oder? Ich bin mir noch nicht sicher. Ich will die aber auf jeden Fall im Team haben. Wir haben sie jetzt dabei, die will ich jetzt dabei haben. Tausche Schätze.
The fruit in the market looks
Statt Ayo, eigentlich nicht statt Ayo, ne? Wir 1448 Kraft. Im Gegensatz zu, ne? Wie viel haben wir? 1700, okay, gut. Wir sind ja auch schon gebufft.
Looks like we're
Komm,
up.
statt Ayo. Ich mag halt ihn als Scharfschützen. Außerdem kann der heilen. Wobei, sie kann ja auch heilen, so wie ich das jetzt verstanden habe. So, wenn ich das jetzt verstanden habe, kann sie heilen. Segen, da unten. Kann ich das irgendwie... mir angucken? Ausrüstungsset. Okay, ich habe aus Versehen irgendeine Taste gedrückt, die ich nicht drücken wollte. Upsi. Warte. Ausrüstung. Ja, ich kann schon 2 Steine reinmachen, das ist aber schön. Angriffskraft kriegt sie und... weiß ich nicht, Leben, oder? Komm, wir geben ihr auch noch Leben. Aber warum kann sie denn schon 2 Dinger haben? Das ist ja schon frech. Die müsste dann ja auch rein theoretisch... Jetzt muss ich doch nochmal ganz kurz hier zu...
Yeah. Who knows when we'll find the time to kick the...
Ja, ja. Ein Ehrensiegel ist eine Ressource, die zum Schmieden von Waffen benötigt wird. Erleichtert dir deine Reise, indem du viele Zahl von Waffen für jede Situation herstellst. Okay, ich kann jetzt auch noch Waffen schmieden. Schwachstellen schaden. Achso, die geht... Ja, okay, ich verstehe, was du mir sagen willst. Da geht alles hoch. Ich schmiede ihr jetzt eine geile Peitsche. Ja, ja. Ja, ja. Rüsten wir. Ja, ja. Können wir ja auch gleich mal aufwerten. Zumindest ein Level oder so. Warte mal, es gab eine Taste dafür. Autostufe, so. Gott, die ist schon Stufe 50. Okay, vielleicht sollten wir erstmal... Nein, gerade noch nicht. Case sollte eigentlich auch ein neues Schwert bekommen, ne? Nee, warte mal, schmieden müssen wir erst. So. Statt 81, 334 ist natürlich ein enormer Unterschied, ne? Schmieden wir das mal. Wir rüsten sie auf, ja. Weil Case muss so oder so immer dabei sein. Das ist es halt. Case muss immer dabei sein, also brauche auch eine bessere Waffe. Feli möchte ich jetzt immer dabei haben. Eugen level ich jetzt noch nicht, weil ich nicht weiß, ob der immer dabei sein wird. Das ist es halt. Ich weiß ja nicht, wenn wir andere Sachen bekommen. Entschuldigung, muss mal ganz kurz durchklicken. Jetzt kann ich es aber nicht mehr machen, ne? Ne, ich habe kein Ehrensiegel mehr. Und kein Geld. Ich habe kein Geld? Okay. Okay, wir haben... Kann ich dich... Nee, ich brauche dafür so eine Feder und dann würde dieser Angriff... Okay. Stufe 1 Dinger kann man wohl nicht. Blauer Trank. Was macht der blaue Trank? Ist das das, was ich im Kampf dabei habe?
Sure Lyria will fall in love with this beautiful city.
It's gonna be great showing her around.
Hello.
Wir werden uns eine Schicksalsepisode von ihr ansehen, weil wir sie gerade neu bekommen haben. Deswegen, weil wir sie gerade neu bekommen haben, gucken wir uns mal an, was ihre Geschichte überhaupt ist.
I'm from Tremont Island, a quiet little place where I lived with my parents and sister. Things were good, except my sister was suffering from a terrible condition. We couldn't treat her on Tremont, so she was forced to travel to another island, all on her own. Back then, skyfaring wasn't nearly the safe bet that it is today, so I wasn't sure if she'd even make it there, let alone receive treatment. I loved my sister more than anything, so waving bye to her as she took off toward an unknown future was the hardest thing I'd ever done. I hoped beyond all hope. I hoped till it hurt that her cure would be swift, and she'd sail back to me with each setting sun. But the days, they grew into months. Sometime after she left, a brutal pandemic spread across Tremont, crippling our population in a matter of days. I was shocked, watching the good people I'd known all my life pass away. But I was horrified when it claimed my parents. And when it came for me, I knew death was waiting at the front door. What can I do? I thought, lungs heavy and weighing me to my bed. What could I do but turn to the skies and pray? Please, if you're listening, I want to hear my family. I want to hear their voices again. My pleas were answered, but not by salvation. No, it was Celeste, the primal beast of death, who descended from the heavens. She stole death from the suffering islanders, preventing them from slipping into the afterlife. They became zombies, sentient and rotting. Unlike the others, my corporeal form faded away, leaving my spirit to haunt the land. This, at least, gave me a faint hope. If I was given an unlife, then perhaps my mother and father would be given the same gift. But the months, they grew into years. And it became clear that though Celeste held dominion over death, life was a more complicated matter. It was my wish that had brought unlife to Tremont. I was to blame for turning my hometown into a living cemetery. If the villagers knew what I had done, well, that's why I chose to haunt the manor on the outskirts of town. Alone in those halls, with no one to talk to, I counted the days until I lost track of time. Solitude was better than guilt. Isolation was better than hearing my name used as a curse. But with time, the silence ate away at my name, until even I forgot who I was.
Die haben auch immer alle Probleme da. Meine Güte. Wir haben noch ein bisschen Zeit. Also, ne?
It's true that
Müssen den
there
Anime,
aren't
glaube ich,
people
gucken.
around the manor, but I did discover a few ghost animals floating about. They took a liking to me, probably because of our shared ghosthood, and I gave them cute names to show my affection. Beppo, Gigi, Fuji, and Nicola. Before I knew it, my lonesome days became a little less gray, if not less repetitive. I watched so many tomorrows and yesterdays pass me by. I felt as stale and constant as the mists that covered the island. That all changed when the crew came to my manor. They were a cheerful, lively group, but also straightforward and intimidating. It had been so long since I needed to interact with other people. I knew that if I made contact, I would have to acknowledge the real depth of my loneliness. So I ran, and they gave chase. So I ran again, and they followed once more. No matter where I fled, they found me, undeterred by my spectral form or my ghostly pets. Finally, I decided to ask them about their situation. Thanks to the mists, they explained, their airship was grounded on Tremont. Like me, like the other islanders. We were all prisoners of Celeste. So long as she still had a pact with the island, there would be no refuge from her fog. But, by the same token, her powers preserved the unlives of Tremont's people, myself included. If Celeste was brought down, we would fade with her. It troubled me, but I knew it was a necessary course of action. I had only one thing to accomplish before confronting the primal beast of death. I needed to come clean to the islanders. It was time to make amends. Had it not been for the arrival of the captain and the crew, I would never have found the strength to make that decision. I marched straight to the village, took a deep breath, and explained to the people how I doomed everyone. But to my surprise, they looked upon me with sympathy and warmth. With the understanding and support of the Islanders, I called Celeste once again. But she didn't appear, and the mist still covered the island. That's how I learned the truth. It wasn't only me who had crossed Celeste's fate with our own. The other culprit was the doctor who was traveling through our village, back when the pandemic first appeared. He was secretly conducting research to summon Celeste. We hurried to the place where he resided, but when we arrived, we found that his consciousness had already been swallowed by the primal beast of death, and he couldn't cough up any helpful information. Despite the setback, I joined with the crew and the Islanders to find and defeat Celeste. The mists parted, and the island returned to its former state. Its residents began to pass into the great beyond, disappearing into light. Before long, everyone I'd known had been lifted into the bright sky, leaving behind only their memories. I closed my eyes and waited for my final moments. But no matter how long I waited, I never began to fade. Left behind, yet again. I stared out at the village, devoid of residents. I was alone, but I could accept that. At any rate, the nameless ghost was no more, because a strange man gave me an oddly familiar name. So long as I had that name, and my memories with the crew, I could wait decades, maybe even centuries, for my sister to return. I think the captain, however, couldn't bear leaving me to such a hollow fate, and invited me to the crew. But how could I leave the island? I knew that my little sister would come back to me. Even though we were no more than graves and warm thoughts, this is where her family was laid to rest. If she came back and no one was waiting, wouldn't she be sad? That's why I knew I had to stay. But the captain wouldn't hear of it. If I was worried about my sister, I should go look for her. It was a new chance. I had never been off my island. I had never even considered the option. But I knew I could. I just needed to find the courage. And that's how I set out on a journey with the crew. Somewhere, out there in that big blue sky, my sister is waiting for me.
So, dann konnten wir sie auch ein bisschen leveln. Ich weiß, wir können auch weitermachen. Wir können auch das. Wir können auch das hier gucken. Ach, weißt du was? Wir gucken jetzt noch das und dann ist die Folge zu Ende.
One day, I was out shopping in Seed Hollow Central Plaza when I saw a woman with kind eyes sitting on a bench. She was absorbed in her needlepoint. Your embroidery is beautiful.
Oh, aren't you a dear? Thank you.
Her smile was genuine and cozy, just like the blanket she was working on. She told me it was a present for her beloved. I've never seen anyone so outside before. She giggled. Really? I'm hoping some of this cheerful sunlight works its way into the fiber. Her name was Malfira, and she invited me to have a seat beside her. Admittedly, the weather was beautiful, the kind that made you appreciate being alive. Or, well, unalive. There was a long, thin trail of white dividing the sky, the aftermath of an unfortunate cloud that had been pierced by a wayfaring airship. How fragile those clouds. How fragile our journeys. I glanced back at Malfira, who looked to be making diligent progress. A familiar memory crept to mind of a time when I begged my mother to sew new stuffed animals for me and my sister. The nostalgia was comfortable, welcomed even, but I was brought back to the present when I heard a troubled sigh from beside me.